Good evening. Today we are going to discuss current affairs part 2. My intention is to target prelims mostly, prelims 2018, and some of the important questions which can be related to the mains also, data point of view. In the data perspective, we can use this data for mains also. So the first important thing in the recent current affairs is Global Competitiveness Report. Global Competitiveness Report will be given by World Economic Forum. This year, India's ranking was recently announced. It is rank number 40. Rank number 40. India is world's 40th most competitive economy. On the list of 137 economies, Switzerland tops, followed by US and Singapore. Switzerland number 1, US number 2, Singapore number 3. And India's rank is 40th. And last time India's rank is 39th, this time 40th. So what we need is more competitiveness in the economy. So because of many reforms in the recent past and because of some bottlenecks in ease of doing, etc., one rank has been degraded and India is in number 40 in Global Competitiveness Report. This is a very important current affairs for prelims, and for mains you can use this data in economy paper. Even for interview you can talk about Indian big economy and its competitiveness. India's ranking is number 40. And next important current affairs, this in the recent past, is a new mobile app for disabled people. A new mobile app released by Government of India for disabled. You all know disabled is a term right now which we are not using regularly. The most appropriate word is Divyang. Center launches a new mobile app called Divyang Sarathi. Divyang Sarathi for the differently abled people. The general problem today differently abled people face is the access to communication and information relating to the various schemes, programs, and policies of their welfare, for their welfare. So for that reason, Divyang Sarathi has been adopted by the new mobile app has been adopted by the central government, and that is being effectively promoted. And this is with respect to Disabilities Act 2016 and UN Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities. In consonance with this, disabled people should have access and information to access various policies and schemes relating to them. For that reason, Divyang Sarathi has been launched. The mobile application is expected to empower the Divyangs by providing easier and convenient access of information to them, as they can now understand all the details pertaining to schemes, scholarships, various laws, institutional support systems, and other relevant and crucial information. This is Divyang Sarathi. So they'll understand about various laws, policies relating to them, and other crucial information. And this year for mains and prelims, next year, Disabilities Act 2016 and Accessible India campaign, both are very important. That is Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan. Along with this, Divyang Sarathi is also equally important. Next important current affairs, recent current affairs is INS Tarasa. If we observe every year, new aircraft or amphibious warship or something else, if it is commissioned or decommissioned, that will be a news for UPSC. So this year, we may expect INS Tarasa, very important. INS Tarasa is a water jet fast attack craft. Water jet fast attack craft. Should remember what is INS Tarasa. Water jet fast attack craft, intended for extended coastal and offshore surveillance and patrolling. Coastal and offshore surveillance and patrolling, INS Tarasa. And INS Tarasa was even commissioned into the Indian Navy recently. It's the fourth and last of the water jet fast attack crafts. It's the fourth and last of the water jet fast attack crafts built by Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers, Kolkata. You all know Garden Reach Shipbuilding is in Kolkata. That's a fourth version. INS Tarasa is the fourth version of water jet aircraft. So this water jet watercraft. And here you should know what are the three other things. INS Tarmugli. INS Tarmugli. Tarmugli is the first one. INS Tihayu. Tihayu is the second one. And both were commissioned in 2016 and they were based in Visakhapatnam. Tarmugli and Tihayu. These are 1 and 2. And INS Tilangchang. Tilanchang. Tilangchang was launched in 2017, commissioned in 2017 March, and is based in Karwar. And the fourth one is INS Tarasa. INS Tarasa is very important for this year's 2018 prelims exam. Next important current affairs in the recent past. Russia and US. Russia and United States of America are going to cooperate to build Moon's first space station. Russia and US are going to collaborate and cooperate to build Moon's first space station. Russia and the US have agreed to cooperate on a NASA-led program. It's a NASA-led program. Moon's first space station is a NASA-led program to build the first lunar space station, a part of long-term project to send humans to Mars. So it's a lunar space station. It's a part of long-term project called to send humans to Mars. US named it as Deep Space Gateway. It's a part of Deep Space Gateway. The US Space Agency said that this year it's going to explore a program called Deep Space Gateway. Deep Space Gateway, a multi-stage project to push further into the solar systems. A multi-stage project to push further into the solar systems. Should remember, Russia and US are collaborating to build Moon's first space station, and US named it as, the NASA called it as Deep Space Gateway. Very important current affair for this year's exam. And next important thing is, we can say, Kandla Port. Kandla Port Trust is renamed as Deen Dayal Port Trust. As you all know, we are celebrating Deen Dayal birth centenary year this year. And with effect from 25th September 2017, Kandla Port in Gujarat, one of the 12 major ports in the country, located in the Gulf of Kutch, Gujarat. Located in the Gulf of Kutch, Gujarat. The central government have exercised its powers to rename the port under Indian Ports Act 1908. To rename the port under Indian Ports Act 1908. And made the amendment in the Indian Ports Act 1908 and named Deen Dayal Port as Kandla Port. And the naming was done by, christianization was done by, it was christened by Ministry of Shipping. Ministry of Shipping. So there is a very famous thing about Kandla Port. Kandla Port is the largest port in India by volume of cargo handled. Kandla Port is the largest port in India by the volume of cargo handling. So you should remember about Kandla Port, and also 12 major ports in India and minor ports in India. And volume wise, Kandla Port is the largest port. As we all know, Kandla Port was developed from 1931. The jetty was maintained by the then Maharaja in 1931. Then Kandla Port started getting developed. And next important current affair, not only current affair, regularly appeared word in this year's newspaper, this week's newspaper, is Doctrine of Colorable Legislation. Doctrine of Colorable Legislation comes in Constitution. It comes in Constitution. The exact meaning is, what you cannot do directly, you cannot do indirectly. What you cannot do directly, you cannot do indirectly. So, in Doctrine of Colorable Legislation, the center should not enter into the state's domain, and the state should not enter into the center's domain. If center makes the line in the state list, or center makes the line in the center list, but falling into the domain of the states, or state makes the line in the center list, but falling into the domain of the center, but intentional with the malified intention to encroach into the other domain, it is called colorable. Colorable here means having an intention to encroach, and intentionally, knowingly, they have encroached. They have encroached into the other's domain. This is also against the doctrine of separation of powers. Generally, we think that doctrine of separation of powers applies only to legislature, executive, and judiciary. But also, colorable legislation is equally good for center and states, is equally good for separation of legislature, executive and judiciary. It's a very important thing, doctrine of colorable legislation. That means what you cannot do directly, you cannot do indirectly also. What you cannot do directly, you cannot do indirectly also. This is called doctrine of colorable legislation. So next important thing this week is BSNL and VNL, Vihan Networks Limited and our BSNL, both were set to launch Relief 123 service. Relief 123 service for disaster management in India. So VSL, VNL and BSNL both set to launch Relief 123, a disaster management service in India. The Relief 123 service is an integrated disaster response solution. It's an integrated disaster response solution for the first responders and public safety agencies. See, during disaster time, communication is the most important thing. So Relief 123 will provide effective communication and good connectivity, and it is going to help Indians in disaster management in consonance with National Disaster Management Act, National Disaster Management Authority and National Disaster Response Force. So you may get a prelims question, what is Relief 123? It's a disaster management service of the Government of India led by VNL, particularly BSNL. Though we are going to have a lot of disinvestments, but still it can be called as government scheme, particularly for the disaster management in India. VNL and BSNL Relief 123, very important current affairs. And the most good progressive move in Saudi Arabia today is women were allowed to drive the vehicles. Women in Saudi Arabia were allowed to drive cars and other vehicles, and this is the first thing, very progressive move in Saudi Arabia, where women were not allowed to do many avocations which are constructed as exclusive domains of men. This time, the king of Saudi Arabia gave a fatwa to help women regarding driving outside the family spaces, that is public spaces. Women can now drive. But there are many other things which women cannot do in Saudi Arabia even today. There are many other things which women cannot do in Saudi Arabia even today. Saudi Arabia is going to ease restrictions on women drivers. Saudi Arabia was the only country in the world to ban women from driving till date, not from now on. Saudi Arabia is the only country in the world to ban women from driving till date, but not from today. Neither Islamic law nor Saudi traffic law explicitly prohibits women from driving, but women were prohibited to get license. No law speaks that women are prohibited from driving, but they don't get licenses. So for the first time, the king of Saudi have given the support to women. So there are certain things which women can do, which they cannot do in Saudi Arabia. Now women can enter into sports in Saudi Arabia. Women can enter into restaurants, which permits family sections. And women can go to work without the permission of the guardian. Earlier, women were not allowed to go to work without the permission of the guardian. Even earlier, girls in the schools were not allowed to play. Now, girls in the schools in Saudi Arabia were allowed to play. That's a forthcoming move from Saudi Arabia. And there are certain things women today even cannot do without the permission of the guardian. That is, to get a passport, to get a divorce, to go for a marriage, means to marry, or to open a bank account. Even today, they need to take a permission of the guardian. So in Saudi Arabia, if a woman wanted to go for a bank account opening, they have to take the permission of the guardian. In such a conservative country for women, the first progressive move, the important progressive move which we have this year is open for driving. Women are allowed to get license for driving. Earlier in 2012, for the first time in Saudi Arabia, women got voting rights. So after 4 years of that, women got driving permits in Saudi Arabia. This is considered a progressive move which we can use in GS for number 1, GS prelims and GS mains, which we can use perfectly. And next important current affairs this time is you have Champaran, Ahmedabad and Kheda both completed 100 years. All the three, Champaran Satyagraha, Ahmedabad and Kheda, all the three completed 100 years. So you may get a prelims question this time on either Champaran, Ahmedabad or Kheda. And in Champaran, you may get a question on Tinkatiya system. where 3 by 20th of land was expected to be cultivated. The farmer should cultivate only indigo. In Tinkatiya system in Champaran is very important current affairs. Tinkatiya system is 3 by 20th. Last week in Hindu paper also, such type of Tinkatiya system concept have come in the paper. So you may get a question on Tinkatiya system again this year. 3 by 20th of the land, that is important. And you may get the person's name who actually persuaded Mahatma Gandhi to come to Champaran, Rajkumar Shukla. Rajkumar Shukla is a man who persuaded Gandhi to enter into Champaran. And for Champaran Satyagraha, Gandhi was accompanied by Babu Rajendra Prasad, Majrul Haq, J.B. Kruplani, Mahadev Desai. Babu Rajendra Prasad, Majrul Haq, J.B. Kruplani, Mahadev Desai. This might be a prelims question. And Ahmedabad mill strike. This is actually started in 1918. Anasuya Ben also supported Mahatma Gandhi. Anasuya Ben. And Kheda Sardar Vallabhai Patel accompanied Mahatma Gandhi. So Champaran, Ahmedabad, Kheda. Next, I'll deal with all these things in exclusive history, important current affairs. But to this extent, you have to prepare Champaran, Ahmedabad, Kheda. And for the information, Mughals this time might come is a very big prelims question, because the history of Mughals right now is in controversy, and now some of the history, we are going to remove some of the important contributions of Mughal emperors to the Indian history, and government is contemplating, in some of the state governments also, they are removing this Mughal history from the textbooks. Now the case was filed in Supreme Court. You may get a question on Akbar's contributions, Shah Jahan contributions, something else in prelims also regarding Mughal history that I'll discuss in a different perspective. And the very prominent current affair this week is Prime Minister launched Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana or Saubhagya Yojana. Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana or Saubhagya Yojana, to ensure electrification of all willing households. To ensure electrification of all willing households in the country, in the rural as well as urban areas. Even till date, we don't have electrification to 4 crore households in the country. So what we need is, we have to complete electrification. In this Yojana, electricity connection is free, not electricity bill. So the connection will be given freely. Electricity connection will be given freely. For this program, the total outlay is 16,320 crore rupees. 16,320 crore rupees. This is a very important formula. And the states and UTs are required to complete the works. The states and union territories are required to complete the house works of electrification by 31st December 2018. The target year of completing the electricity connections throughout the country is 31st December 2018. The beneficiaries for free electricity connections would be identified. Using Socio-Economic Caste Census 2011 data. This is a very important current affair. How beneficiaries will be identified? The beneficiaries under the Yojana, Saubhagya Yojana, will be identified by using Socio-Economic Caste Census 2011. This is important. The expected outcome of the scheme is also very important. Environmental upgradation by substitution of kerosene for lighting purposes. So right now we won't use kerosene for lighting, we'll use only electricity. So environmental protection and improving education services, better health services, enhanced connectivity through radio, television, mobiles, increased economic activities and jobs, improved quality of life, especially women. Yes, if there is a electricity connection, the quality of life of women, health services, education services, and more use of radio, television, other services will be perfect. So this is one important current affair which we can expect, that not only current affair but also in public policy, in mains, in interview, in essay writing, you can write the 2022 dream of India, where every Indian will have a house, electricity connection, all those things. So Saubhagya Yojana, you have to do in detail research for 2018 prelims, mains and interview. And the next important current affairs which appeared in the recent past is snow leopard. In the snow leopard, the questions will be in a different format. In how many countries in Asia, in the world, we can see snow leopard? In 12 countries, we can see snow leopards. That's very important. The snow leopards are big cat predators from Asia. They live in the cold mountain regions in 12 countries, including China, India, Afghanistan, and Russia. China, India, Afghanistan, and Russia. In India, there are only around 400 to 700 snow leopards in the wild. Around 400 to 700 snow leopards in the wild. The next important current affair is, in which states in India you can find snow leopards? In which states in India you can find snow leopards? Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh. Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh. This is a very important thing. And snow leopards, why they are in use? Snow leopards till recently are in endangered list. Now they have entered into vulnerable list. Snow leopards till recently are in IUCN's endangered list. Now they entered into vulnerable list. For your recollection, last year, giant panda have shifted from endangered list to vulnerable list. So now you can connect. Last year's question is giant panda. That is a very important question from last 2 years. It have appeared, I think, 2 years back. And snow leopard is this year's important question because it entered from endangered list, shifted from endangered list to vulnerable list. That means the position of snow leopard was bettered. See, generally, if the population is more than 2,500 species, it comes under endangered. If it comes less than that, it will come under vulnerable. And not only that, we have one more criteria regarding to that I'm going to explain. Now, snow leopards exist in 12 countries in the world, including China, India, Afghanistan, Russia, particularly in the Asian region. Since 1972, the snow leopards have been listed as endangered in IUCN Red List. Since 1972. So it's almost 45 years. Almost 45 years, snow leopards were in endangered list. So species which are in endangered list should have less than 2,500 mature adults. Should have less than 2,500 mature adults and have a decline of rate of 20% over 16 years. So over 16 years, the decline rate should be 20%, minimum 20%. Now, in this category, the population grew more than 2,500 in the world, and also decline rate is not 20% in the last 16 years. So for that reason, snow leopard have transformed from endangered to vulnerable. So this is the important thing. You should remember about snow leopard and in which states in India we have snow leopard. So, and most important current affair this week is fourth gravitational wave has been detected. Generally, gravitational waves are detected in LIGO facilities. LIGO facilities are in Washington and Louisiana in America. One is at Washington, second is at Louisiana. But the most fantastic thing about this fourth gravitational wave observation is it was observed in Italy in Virgo. In Virgo Observatory, it was observed, not in America. So this is the greatest thing. And this time we have pinpointed its location better than ever before. This time we have pinpointed its location better than ever before. So they may ask you a question, where is Virgo located? Virgo is in Italy. Number two, they may ask you a question on gravitational waves itself that we are going to cover in science and technology current affairs. So these are the important things. I'll meet you soon in the next phase of current affairs. Thank you.